Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Lunchtime Poetry. My name is Lorie, and I'm the teen librarian at Manlius Library, coming to you from my teen room today. I am going to read to you one selection from The Fall of Arthur, which is a poem by J.R.R. Tolkien of Lord of the Rings fame. And this is actually a book in our collection. It's a long poem, and I'm going to read to you part 3 of Sir Lancelot, who abode in Benwick. In the south, from sleep to swift fury, a storm was stirred, striding northward over leagues of water loud with thunder, and roaring rain it rushed onward. Their hoary heads, hills and mountains tossed in tumult on the towering seas. On Benwick's beaches, breakers pounding, ground gigantic grumbling boulders with ogre anger. The air was salt with spume and spindrift splashed to vapor. There Lancelot, over leagues of sea, in heaving welter from a high window, looked and wondered, alone musing. Dark slowly fell, deep his anguish. He his lord betrayed, to love yielding and love forsaking, lord regained not. Faith was refused him, who had faith broken, by leagues of sea from love surrendered. Sir Lancelot, lord of Benwick of old, was the noblest knight of Arthur, among sons of kings kingly seeming, deemed most daring in deeds of arms all surpassing, eager-hearted, among folk whose beauty as a flower blossomed, in face the fairest, formed in manhood, strong and gracious, steel well-tempered. White his hue was, his hair raven, dark and splendid, dark his eyes were. Gold was Gowan, gold as sunlight, but gray his eyes were, gleaming keenly, his mood sterner. By men holden almost equal, envy he knew not, peer and peerless, praising justly, but to his lord alone his love giving. No man nor woman in his mind holding dearer than Arthur. Daily watchful the queen he doubted, ere the cold shadow on her great glory gray had fallen. To Lancelot her love gave she, in his great glory gladness finding. To his lady only was his love given, no man nor woman in his mind held he than Guinevere dearer. Glory only, knighthood's honor, near his lady in his heart holding. High his purpose, he long was loyal to his lord Arthur, among the Round Table's royal order, prince and peerless, proudly serving queen and lady. But cold silver or glowing gold, greedy-hearted in her fingers taken fairer, thought she. More lovely deeming what she alone treasured, darkly hoarded. Dear she loved him, with a love unyielding, lady ruthless, fair as fey woman, and fell-minded, in the world walking for the woe of men. Fate sent her forth. Fair she deemed him beyond gold and silver to her grasp lying. Silver and golden as the sun at morning, her smile dazzled, and her sudden weeping with tears softened, tender poison, steel well-tempered. Strong oaths they broke. Mordred in secret, mirthless, watched them betwixt hate and envy, hope and torment. Thus was bred the evil, and the black shadow o'er the courts of Arthur, as a cloud growing dimmed the daylight, darkling slowly. In evil hour was Agravain, the dower handed to death smitten. By the door fell he, dear to Gowan. Swift swords were drawn by sword brethren at the round table rent asunder in the queen's quarrel. Cold rang the blades, the queen was taken. With cruel justice, fair as fey woman, they to fire doomed her, to death they condemned her. But death waited. There Lancelot as lightning came amid riding thunder, ruthless flaming, in sudden assault, sweeping, heedless, he friends of old felled and trampled, as trees by tempest torn uprooted. Garrus and Gareth, Gawain's brethren, fell by the fire, fell they as fate willed it. From the fire he snatched her, far he bore her, fear fell on men, none would follow after, for bands kindred in their battle closed him. Then rage left him, and his wrath sickened, his mood faltered. He mourned too late in ruth for the rending of the round table. His pride he repented, his prowess cursing that friends had felled, faith had broken. For the love longing of his lord Arthur, he would heal yet honor with his heart's anguish, and the queen restore, by the king's mercy her estate re-establish. Strange she deemed him by a sudden sickness from his self altered. From war she shrank not, might her will conquer life both and love, with delight keeping to wield as she wished while the world lasted. But little liked her lonely exile, for love to lose her life's splendor. In sorrow they parted. With searing words his wound she probed, his will searching. Grief bewrayed her and greed thwarted. The shining sun was sudden shaded in storm of darkness. Strange he deemed her from herself altered. By the sea stood he as a graven stone, gray and hopeless. In pain they parted. Pardon found she by her king's mercy, and men's counsel, lest worse befall, war unholy among Christian kings, while the crows feasted. In the courts of Camelot she was queen again, great and glorious. Grace with Arthur he sought and found not. They his sword refused. On that knee no more knight in fealty might he hilt handle, nor his head there lay, not Lancelot, love forsaking, pardon asking, with pride humbled. Love forsaken, from the land banished, from the round table's royal order and his siege glorious, where he sat aforetime he went sadly, the salt water lay gray behind him. And that is the first part of part 3 of Lancelot, Who Abode in Benwick. And this is it's a long poem, and it is the entire Arthurian legend in poem form by J.R.R. Tolkien. And it's called The Fall of Arthur, and that's a book available in our collection. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed today's selection of poetry. My name is Lorie, and you can find me here on our YouTube channel every weekday in April for to celebrate National Poetry Month. I will see you next time. Have a great weekend. Happy poetry.